wake before sunrise, but there is no alarm, no walls, no heater humming in the background. The air itself is the first thing you notice. It bites your face before you even open your eyes, turning every breath into a cloud that disappears into the darkness. Frost covers the ground around your shelter, and the fire that protected everyone through the night has shrunk to a handful of glowing embers. If nobody feeds it soon, the cold will take over. For almost all of human history, winter was not an inconvenience. It was a test. Long before insulated homes, central heating, supermarkets, or weather forecasts, your ancestors faced seasons that could erase entire families if they made a single mistake. Every sunrise demanded decisions about warmth, food, movement, and cooperation. There were no backup plans, no emergency numbers, no deliveries, only preparation, experience, and the people beside you. Your body already knows something about this ancient challenge. Goosebumps, shivering, and the instinct to huddle together are not random reactions. They are biological tools shaped by hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. Your nervous system still carries echoes of winters experienced by ancestors who survived because they adapted just well enough to see another spring. But surviving winter was never simply about enduring cold. It was about understanding an entire landscape that changed with every snowfall. Rivers disappeared beneath ice. Familiar trails vanished overnight. Animals migrated or became scarce. Edible plants retreated beneath frozen soil. Every sound became sharper. Every mistake became more expensive. Here's the thing. Ancient humans did not conquer winter through strength alone. They survived because they became extraordinary problem solvers. Archaeological discoveries across Ice Age Europe reveal remarkable evidence of this adaptability. Sites associated with Neanderthals and later Homo sapiens show repeated occupation even during extremely cold climatic periods. Researchers studying places such as Denisova Cave, Chauvet Cave, and numerous Upper Paleolithic camps have uncovered sophisticated stone tools, hearths, animal remains, and evidence of carefully planned seasonal living. These discoveries demonstrate something important. Survival depended on knowledge passed from one generation to the next. Take fire, for example. Fire was not merely a source of warmth, it transformed nearly every aspect of survival. It thawed frozen meat, it hardened wooden spear tips, it frightened predators lurking beyond the light, it dried, soaked clothing, and reduced dangerous moisture that could rapidly lower body temperature. Most importantly, it created a place where people gathered, shared information, repaired tools, and taught children. Scientists sometimes describe humans as a cultural species. In simple terms, that means your greatest survival tool was not your muscles, it was your ability to learn from others and pass useful knowledge forward. Every winter lesson remembered increased the odds that another generation would survive. Now imagine leaving the shelter before dawn. Snow crunches beneath your feet. The air feels painfully dry. You cannot afford to wander without purpose because every unnecessary step burns precious energy. Calories are now more valuable than gold. Unlike modern exercise, movement had only one purpose: survival. Some members of the group check animal tracks left overnight. Others gather firewood before snow buries fallen branches. Experienced hunters search for reindeer, bison, or wild horses, following migration routes memorized over countless seasons. Every task fits together like pieces of a puzzle. Would you notice how quiet everything becomes after heavy snowfall? That silence could save your life or end it. Many Ice Age animals were perfectly adapted to frozen environments. Woolly mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, musk oxen, and giant deer thrived where humans struggled. Hunting these animals required planning that resembled military strategy more than brute force. Archaeological sites reveal coordinated hunts involving multiple individuals using terrain, traps, and carefully crafted spears. Research by archaeologists such as John Shea has highlighted how advances in projectile technology dramatically improved hunting success. Better weapons meant less risk, more reliable food, and fewer injuries. During winter, avoiding injury was just as important as finding food. A broken leg could become a death sentence. Clothing tells another remarkable story. Unlike other mammals, humans did not evolve thick, insulating fur. Instead, your ancestors invented portable shelter they could wear. Although leather and fur rarely survived tens of thousands of years, bone needles discovered at upper Paleolithic sites suggest people stitched fitted garments rather than simply wrapping themselves in animal hides. Sewing allowed layers to trap warm air close to the body. Air, surprisingly, is one of the best natural insulators. Your ancestors were not merely wearing skins, they were engineering clothing. Here's something surprising. The cold itself was not always the greatest enemy. Wetness often proved far more dangerous. Snow melting inside boots or soaked clothing could drain body heat with alarming speed. Even today, cold weather survival experts emphasize staying dry before staying warm. Ancient humans likely learned this lesson through painful experience, refining shelter construction and clothing techniques over thousands of years. Shelters varied dramatically depending on geography. Some groups used caves when available, though caves were not always ideal because many were already occupied by predators. Others built windbreaks using branches, mammoth bones, hides, and snow itself. Evidence from sites in Ukraine shows structures built partly from mammoth bones, demonstrating remarkable ingenuity in treeless environments. Think about that for a moment. You are standing inside a house built from the skeletons of animals that weighed several tons. That sounds unbelievable today. For your ancestors, it was simply practical. Food demanded equally creative solutions. Winter offered fewer edible plants, forcing greater dependence on hunting, fishing, stored foods, and nutrient-rich animal fat. Fat contained far more energy than lean meat alone. During freezing temperatures, every calorie mattered. Anthropologist Richard Lee's work among hunter-gatherers reminds us that successful foraging societies rarely depended on one food source. Diversity reduced risk. Ancient humans likely followed the same principle whenever local environments allowed. Bone marrow became especially valuable. Breaking open large bones provided access to calorie-rich fat hidden inside. Even frozen carcasses could still contain nourishment when carefully processed. Would you have recognized which bones held the richest reserves? Knowledge often meant survival. Another invisible resource mattered just as much: friendship. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner has documented how extensive social networks among hunter-gatherers allow food, information, and assistance to travel between groups. While her research focuses on more recent hunter-gatherer societies, it offers valuable insight into strategies that may stretch deep into prehistory. No individual could master every challenge alone. One family might lose a hunt, another might discover migrating animals. Sharing reduced the chance that temporary bad luck became permanent tragedy. Modern society often celebrates independence. Ice Age survival rewarded interdependence. Even children contributed. They gathered small fuel, learned animal behavior through observation, and absorbed survival knowledge long before adulthood. Elderly individuals, despite reduced physical strength, remained invaluable as living libraries. They remembered migration routes, dangerous weather patterns, edible plants, and successful hunting grounds accumulated across decades. Knowledge aged well, muscles did not. Here's another misconception. Many people imagine prehistoric life as constant violence. Certainly, danger existed. Wolves, cave lions, bears, severe storms, and starvation all posed real threats. But archaeological evidence also points toward remarkable cooperation. Some ancient skeletons show individuals surviving serious injuries for years afterward, suggesting others cared for them during recovery. That level of compassion carried survival value. Helping one person today increased the likelihood someone would help you tomorrow. Winter reinforced that lesson again and again. Now, fair question, what about Neanderthals? Neanderthals inhabited Europe and Western Asia during some of the coldest periods of the Ice Age. Their stockier bodies reduced heat loss because a compact body retains warmth more efficiently than a tall, slender one. This follows a biological pattern known as Bergmann's rule, which simply means animals living in colder climates often evolve larger, more compact bodies that conserve heat. Their broad noses may also have helped warm and humidify freezing air before it reached the lungs. Combined with skilled hunting, mastery of fire, and impressive stone technology, These adaptations allowed Neanderthals to thrive in environments that would overwhelm most modern people. Yet even they eventually disappeared. Climate shifted, competition increased, human populations expanded. History rarely depends on a single cause. One of the most fascinating discoveries from archaeology is how flexible Homo sapiens proved to be. Instead of relying on one perfect strategy, your species constantly experimented. New tools, new shelters, new clothing, new hunting methods, new social connections. Flexibility became the ultimate survival adaptation. Your brain evolved not because every answer was known, it evolved because new problems never stopped appearing. That legacy remains inside you today. The same brain that once tracked animal footprints across frozen valleys now navigates traffic, deadlines, passwords, and endless notifications. Different environment, same hardware. But here's the irony. Many challenges that dominated prehistoric winters have disappeared, while entirely new ones have taken their place. You rarely worry about freezing overnight. Instead, you worry about emails. You rarely fear starvation. Instead, you struggle with constant abundance. You rarely depend on 20 close companions for daily survival. Instead, many people feel isolated while surrounded by millions. The body that evolved for movement now spends hours sitting. The brain that evolved to solve immediate survival problems now loops endlessly through abstract anxieties. Perhaps that explains why nature still feels comforting, why campfires still capture your attention, why snowfall can feel strangely peaceful despite its danger. Those experiences awaken ancient memories written not in conscious thought, but in biology itself. Your ancestors survived brutal winters without electricity, without supermarkets, without modern medicine, and without certainty. They endured through cooperation, creativity, observation, and an extraordinary ability to adapt. Every lesson learned around a flickering fire became another thread connecting generations across thousands of years. And every time winter returned, they faced it again. No schedule, no alarm, no place to be except where survival demanded. Today, your mornings may begin with heated rooms, glowing screens, and calendars filled months in advance. Yet the brain inside your skull was shaped around campfires, frozen rivers, and people who measured wealth not by possessions but by shared knowledge and trusted companions. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not how your ancestors survived the Ice Age, but why a species built for freedom now willingly spends so much of life inside routines that no winter ever demanded.